Well, justice at last. A 3-year battle is over and an Aussie war veteran has come out on top against the ABC. The federal court has ordered the ABC to pay Heston Russell $390,000 in damages. He was defamed and attacked in a series of stories led by senior ABC journalist Mark Willesee. And they were suggesting that November Platoon was involved in the unlawful execution of a prisoner. They based the whole thing on a bloke from America who said, oh, yeah, I kind of remember something. My memory's foggy, but I heard a noise, a pop sound, and I think that pop sound was the Aussies executing a prisoner because they didn't have enough room on a chopper. 3 years later, justice has been served. And Heston Russell, the retired Special Forces commander, is live in the studio right now. Heston, congratulations to you.
Hey, good morning, Ben.
Thanks so much. How are you feeling?
Still sick again, quite relieved, but really overwhelmed with the public support and with the decision yesterday finally bringing this to a close.
I was sitting next to you in court. Sometimes it can be a bit confusing when judges are detailing their decisions, but I could sense as we were making our way through it. I mean, it was always going to go that way, wasn't it? But you never know because sometimes courts make decisions and we all scratch our heads.
Yeah, you never know, and a lot of people forewarn me saying you'll get decisions from the court, you might not necessarily get justice, but definitely a fair bit of justice was served yesterday, and I'm still working my way through the over 100-page final determination myself.
Have you received an apology from Mark Willesee?
Haven't heard from them. I mean, as you saw yesterday, Ben, isn't it crazy that not even any of the ABC executive, none of the journalists, not even any of their first or second string barristers were there to receive Justice Lee's decision?
He didn't know what he was talking about when he was reporting that story, and that became clear during the court case.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as per the statement I put out, it was in defence of his ego as opposed to the actual truth.
What do you want to say to Mark Willesee this morning?
Careful, I don't need to launch my own defamation case. I mean, he needs to do a lot of reflection as to why he decides to sit behind the freedoms that we fight for and attack those who are out there fighting for it. Why he refused to accept criticism and why he so happily, in his own words, put an article out there trying to get a reaction without the considerations for the damage it has done to me and my soldiers and our families and our friends.
When I saw that first story that they put to air on TV, something didn't seem right to me. And it was the basis of the story, that a guy had heard a noise and he'd put 2 and 2 together and got 16 and worked out that the Aussies had executed a prisoner. And I then spoke to other members of November Platoon and they said, look, it just doesn't work that way. If you don't have room on a chopper, you make room. Or if you really don't have room, you make decisions about who's going to be left behind. Or if they're really high-profile targets and you need them all, we'll wait and get another chopper. None of it made sense. And the line that really stood out for me was a member of your platoon who said, mate, this isn't like ordering a maxi taxi at an RSL. We know how many seats are on the chopper.
Spot on, Ben. And I think what this whole trial has really exposed is how dangerous the echo chamber is there at ABC, particularly their investigations unit that allowed such common sense red flags to be missed over the last 3 years.
We gave you a platform, but the ABC refused to.
Yeah, wasn't that incredible that they wouldn't even provide a right of reply, let alone accept any criticism. They wouldn't even accept our editorial complaint until you guys actually bashed it home to even the managing director himself at the ABC.
We were saying to the ABC, just give Heston a right of reply on ABC TV so he can tell his side of the story, but they arrogantly dismissed that.
Well, Ben, you and I offered them the ability to have a one-on-one interview at any time, and they refused that.
So they could have done it at midnight if they wanted to, if they really wanted to bury your reply, but they wouldn't even take you up on that.
Yep.
And your legal team was offering a way out for them some time ago to say, okay, come on, settle the case. It'll only cost you this much. And now it's up to $400,000 when you add in the interest, and then the legal cost to be sorted out next week. Have you got any idea how big those legal bills are going to be?
I think the legal fee's up around $1.5 million. It's going to cost the taxpayer nearly $2 million. And you're right, when we did that editorial complaint in 2021, we said, hey, please just apologise and take them down. Then when we filed the legal case, $99,000 to cover the legal expenses and apology and take it down. They went all the way through and it's now costing taxpayers nearly $2 million.
Sue Chrysanthu, SC, worked for you on a no-win, no-fee basis because you could never have afforded her bills. She doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, and we haven't made that public until yesterday. It's been so humbling and just so incredibly generous for Sue Chrysanthu, SC, and Rebecca Giles and Company Giles, who took this on, believed in it, and decided to do it, like you said, no win, no fee.
I want to play you a little bit of audio. This is Mark Willesee. He was on stage at a Walkley Award event, and he was boasting about the story and also criticising people like us who were asking questions about it.
But then there's the thing that pisses me off about this story is that I spent 2 months working on a particular story involving, a US helicopter crewman. He told the story that they were out in an operation, they dropped their commandos. Then it was time to pick them up, and, they radio in and said, we've got 6, our guys and 6 prisoners, and, the chopper pilot, he heard it through the communication, said, well, we've only got room for 5. And then, yep, we're good, we've got 5. There's this idea that we make up, and we don't. And, come after me. If I've made a mistake or I've been loose with my journalism, come after me. I welcome it.
Well, Mark, let me say you made shit up. And excuse my language, but that's what happened. And he was loose with his reporting. He was wrong, and he still won't apologise to you.
The flippancy and arrogance of those statements. He spent 2 months writing an article. We were over there on that one deployment for 5 months, and we lost one of our best on the day that he published that article. That piece just absolutely enrages me, and that was at the Walkleys. I mean, there are a lot of things that need to flow from this, and his subsequent publications and previous publications and anything to do with war crimes need to be looked at.
They've all of a sudden taken the stories down online this morning.
Yeah, I heard that. Isn't that hilarious? This indirect behaviour where they won't even issue a public apology when we ask for it, but overnight, cloak and dagger, they'll take these articles down.
It was an honour to be there next to you in court yesterday and also to meet your mum, Barbara. She's been to hell and back through the whole thing. And so many of the 2GB listeners got involved in this. They started writing letters and getting behind petitions and everything else to say to the ABC, you've got to do better.
Yeah, Ben, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have been there yesterday without your guys' support. As I said yesterday, it's been such a godsend when so many other fled, when all the waves of ABC attacks came. And my biggest fear out of all of this is that I'm so fortunate to have a personal social media profile and the support of you. If this was one of my soldiers or another soldier who didn't, it took me to some very dark places. This is the stuff that causes people to take their own lives.
You won.
Yeah, well,
you beat them.
We did.
Congratulations to you and well done to your legal team as well. And we'll just see whether we get an apology to Heston Russell today from Mark Willisey, but no one's holding their breath. Congratulations, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you to all the 2GB team and listeners who've supported the whole time.
Good on you. There's Heston Russell live in the 2GB studio.